probably around my age. We've also got this many shelves in the library of Sotheby's. Are there any alchemy workshops and potion warehouses here, like in our manor? Where can I find Miss Buaniche? Madame Z told me to come here, but she didn't give any other. The people here really need Mr. Teaketler, who is always nice and warm. If not so, placing a luck-a-day potion at the entrance would help as well. If I had made it before I came, Miss Buaniche and I might have met by now. Or she will just pop up behind me.
Are you looking for me? Oh, my word!
Oops, that was too loud. Where are my manners? Oh, nice to meet you. That's fantastic. How did you... By the way, it is the great Arcanum.
I'm much greater than that. Look at you, dressed as if you'd just been to a ball. I saw you the moment I came into the library.
Oh.
No, I'm saying... if you do this, I'm the... never mind. Madame Z told me you wanted to look up the materials on the mysterious school that believes in numbers here.
That's right. Miss Moisson told me she will thoroughly check the documents in the Foundation. If we can find anything about that school, we can be of more help to Vertic.
I'm sorry, Miss Sotheby, but I'm afraid the situation is going to disappoint you. While you spent the last hour looking for Teaketler's ear, the kind-hearted monitor assistant already gained a valuable access to the library. But I haven't found any record.
Oh, but Miss Moisson said there are so many books here that they can cover the entire back of a Stronsay beast.
That's a bit exaggerated, but she's right. Nevertheless, the librarian was transferred to a more important position. Many old books are not yet sorted. Some even went missing in the chaos. The only relevant materials I could find are the stories of Pythagoras and some books on mathematical theorems. But I don't think they have anything to...
That means I can't do anything to help them.
Please stop being emotional. It doesn't work on this professional member of the Foundation. Without field investigation, but in fact, there is still another reference room only known to the most outstanding monitor assistant.
Hooray!
Shh, shh, shh. It's a violation to make noises in the library. Please follow me.
Thank you so much, Miss Buaniche. You mentioned ball. I haven't heard that word for a very long time. I remember what Mr. Carson, my butler, had taught me. He said, express your... I'll write to my father and ask for a brand new, unsinkable and
maneuverable.
Yes. We can hold a twist ball on it when Bertin and her team are back.
Please allow me to say no. The monitor assistant... Wait, did you just say Vertin and her team?
Hmm?
We can talk about the ball later. The kind-hearted Matilda Buaniche will try her best to help you with the task. But, of course, it's only up... The reference room storing unnecessary. Even so, this careful, reliable monitor assistant will not let go of any details. I hereby officially appoint you as the Chief Assistant of Monitor Assistant of SPDM. I will take my responsibility and teach you how to become a devoted Foundation member. Here is your first task. Read through these unsorted old files. All of them. I have searched all the archived ones. Most of them are discarded administrative documents, low-priority materials, and substandard reports written by... By the way, you should know I didn't sort any of them out for you, and they don't necessarily have what you want.
It's all right. Leave them to me. I love reading.
You'd better do. Here's the key. Keep it safe. You can sit on the cushions. I'll go see if I missed any files. Listen, this monitor assistant will test you on your familiarity with this Double check. Phew, quite a long... I doubt if that spoiled lady can finish all the materials. She must have been bored and fallen asleep. It takes much more than dancing at balls to be a Foundation investigator. I'll send her back to that teacher when she wakes up. In the end, it will be the kind-hearted Matilda who finishes the task for her.
Oh! Miss Boanish!
You didn't fall asleep. Did you sort out these files?
Yes. And I love these. I often read books with Sasana when Father wasn't at here. The gentleman from River Conway tamed a whole group of Avanks.
Oh, okay. Looks like you meet the basic requirements for being a rookie investigator. Tu es plus ou moins qualifié pour être mon assistante en chef.
Interesting report. Will this be helpful to Barton?
Show it to me. I have to say, it is undoubtedly a violation to submit such a report. But
peace, sense, justice. They have always been the creed. A long time has passed since the first attack of the most severe crisis in our time. But we are still wondering, what on earth does it mean? That was the eve of the millennium, of which no one had any memories, illogically. The next day, time was already reversed to 1996, the moment we opened our eyes. We walked out of the building made of grey and white marble as usual, hardly aware that the sun we bathed in, our survival was unexpected and almost unbelievable in such a calamity which swept the globe. Why did the headquarters of the Foundation survive the reverse? Why couldn't we find our younger selves in the outside world? Did any other region survive it as we did? What was the cause behind? I didn't know. Nor did things remained unclear until time was reversed again.
These files Barton needs?
I think so. It's a report written by someone who witnessed the storm. And it has recorded the storms before Verton became the timekeeper. before she
So
She didn't tell you that? Wait, no one is... Anyway, this report includes the secret chronology only access... No matter what the reason is, to evaluate its authenticity, and if you agree to this resolution, please nod, Assistant...
Yes.
That was 1985. A gloomy, miserable night compared to that peaceful morning in 19... We didn't expect time to be reversed again. Nor did we... Even now, I still remember Paulina's desperate cry. One of her hens was already inside the safe area when she fell at the entrance, and her favorite blue polka dot scarf. To be honest, we lost... Since then, the storm... Of course, we can have a word for the... Before the storm, we were all familiar with time. We followed the line to move... But then... Oh, time. Our closest old friend. Where are you taking us? Back to the two most painful... So far, mankind has achieved a lot in history. Dynamos, automobiles, flyovers, railways, horse... But now we are like a shipwreck left on the... Even though the foundation has... My younger brother was a good example.
At least we have reaffirmed that Newton was right. There was never... That means this is absolutely normal. Whether the time goes...
The next day, he almost fell off the 6th floor due to excessive drinking. All the perceptions of time and space developed to this day were overthrown. We couldn't find any theories to explain the storm. Either we've been completely wrong all the time, or we've come to a brand new world. And this new world can never make sense in the way of science, or that of physics. It cannot be verified by an independent third party. And is it true that we have been going the wrong way? Is it true that those once proven wrong by history, those arcanists who claim to possess gnosis? In fact, the one who put an end to the chaos was indeed not a human. This thing, I had no idea what it was. It claimed to be a machine which never stops working. It laughed at the limitations of our brains and the metaphysical mistakes we make ceaselessly. But it did solve the most urgent, the first measure it adopted. After that, numerous officers... I handed in the application to take part. In 1986, because we knew it could be the final goodbye. What really scared me was not the threat to my life. Then I boarded the ship to Alexandria from Athens. Now when I recall it was almost impossible to ignore that group of arcanists on the ship. There were about a dozen of them, all in eccentric stitched robes. They were followers of a strange school which mixes arcanum and mathematics. I talked to them. No matter how much that conversation bewilders me now, I was more excited than confused at the time. They also survived the storm in 1996, and they noticed the unusual changes taking place in the world as well. That means I actually met another group of survivors.
Wait! A school of arcanists who survived the storm. A mixture of arcanum and mathematics. The ship, unbelievable. Our investigator...
Does it mean we are close to being helpful to Ver?
Certainly. It's what we deserve for all the... Did they misput it here after the chaos of...
Among them, he was an engineer, as Hugh was in his 30s. Red-haired, cheeks sunken, and deeply depressed due to some kind of eye disease. He was a decent man, with a prudent... He showed me the picture of his daughter. Although I got along well with Hugh, he seemed quite out of place among that group, which was actually led by... I don't know what words to use to describe her. She was like a meteor shower, a tempest, or an unreasonable catastrophe itself. Please forgive me for my cowardice. Even now, I don't have the courage to write. In fact, she was quite a kind, warm-hearted person. Among all the unregistered arcanists I've met, she looked young, even though I heard she had a daughter too. Besides, she still possessed the innocence of a child. Our communication was heart-stirring at the beginning. Both of us were eager to find out what was happening, but I didn't have the slightest idea what she was talking about, actually. The problem was not the typical communication issues between humans and arcanists. I was sure the language we used didn't pose any obstacles, but still I couldn't understand. I would believe that one is highly intelligent if one can name, but what this one said was illogical nonsense. She claimed that there is a world of numbers, above all else, and that's why the chaos in this world is not worth... What an utter disaster combining modern maths with the ancient superstition. I don't even bother to mention the balderdash on soul numbers. Even the New Age movement could use some of her absurdity. But that was not yet the end. She even claimed to be aware of the exact year when the next reverse would happen. But when I asked her about it, seriously...
My apologies.
I'm not sure whether she was making fun of me. It seemed she just saw through the laws.
Can't you see it? It is right in...
After I expressed my inability to... What really irritated me about her. As far as I'm concerned, the value of a theory lies in its reliability, universality. Our pursuit of the truth has laid the foundation of modern science, allowing us to change the world. Yet, in her eyes, the value of a theory lies in its beauty. I talked to her on the current situation. It was of course not an easy thing to do, yet again she responded with contempt.
Darling, that's why it remains noble and graceful in this sordid...
She turned down my invitation and left an unfairly negative...
The observation stations you built are destined to be top...
But I said, perhaps our efforts are in vain, but someone has to do it. We will try. The conversation ended in disagreement. I don't know why arcanists hate the world so much.
The world built on past experiences has ended. In your words, which you used to mock.
Yet about the gnosis, and the reason for her inactions was an oath she had made before some... Therefore I believed her words were only the nonsense of a lunatic. In the name of human sense, I swore everything she said was absurd and...
Madame Z said the arcanists on that island are all named after numbers. The investigator wouldn't write down her name. Is it because of the conflict between their beliefs? Huh? That's all? Submitting such an unfinished report would only cause problems for the reviewers and evaluators, but this investigator didn't even write down their name.
Don't worry, Miss Burnish. I'm familiar with this situation. Every time after the brave Typhon, but each time we twist the ear of Mr. Glassbox, Typhon will show up again. As Moisson told me, the ear is the key to bringing back our hope.
Wait, don't tell me you are talking about the shows on the mechanical television? Stop, Miss Sotheby. Please, take a seat on the cushion and listen to me carefully. This is a detailed report written...
Oh, I see. Usually, they will be attracted by Lunar Fixer.
You mean someone took it away?
We must prepare Lunar Fixer. Don't forget. I don't have those materials with me right now, but I can write to them.
Nuh-uh, we don't need that. You've perfectly accomplished the task from me when you found this valuable report. Well done, Assistant Sotheby. Now it's time for the great Matilda to show a little bit of her greatness. Judging from the omen, it's at the northwest. Then the beginning and the ending of the ring is not a problem either, but where the wall reflects repeatedly. Does that mean the mirror in the display center is a huge... The one in the rehab center? No. The mirrors in the operation room. So, where is the answer? Hey! You just hit me! Shouldn't you apologize?
Where did you come from, dork?
What? How could he say that?
That gentleman doesn't look well. He needs treatment immediately.
He ran towards the rehab center. The rehab center has all the facilities and medicines he needs. He will be properly... And where's the receptionist here?
Does everyone go to the weekend party night?
Absolutely not. The researchers here are too busy to do... The computing center is working on the most urgent and vital project. The research... So please stop calling the office and put down the telephone. Je sais qu'il était... Right new members with caution and patience. Trigger the afflatus at the right time.
Miss Buanish, I just read the map on... You mentioned where the wall reflects repeatedly.
Let me take a look. Found it. Next, empty box. Good job. I have to say, I might have gone a bit too hard.
Sotheby is glad to help. Miss Buanish, why don't you just divine the reason? According to Ms. Moisson, the reason still remains a bit...
Divine the reason for the store? That's impossible for It's a typical mistake of layman's to... You are an
Education on our kids?
All right, enough. I have understood the fact that... But don't worry, because you are talking to the kind In fact, the system of arcanum knowledge is not completely. They developed into two different systems because arcanists focused more on the knowledge we learn from divination.
Wow.
Let me fill you in with more details. Or if two potionists used, however, if two diviners respectively performed, because what the divination shows is merely omens. The interpretation of these omens is in fact a kind of subjective deduction based on even if the two diviners draw the same conclusion, it is more of a coincidence than a result that implies generalizability. So diviner, and this is an example of gnosis. Unlike human sense. In other words, even if someone finds out a reason for the storm through divination, they can't have other diviners. That being said, the more possible result we get from the divination, we may find one or two diviners like that if time. Besides, even Nostradamus is not always right.
But Miss Buanish is, thanks to your divination, we're getting closer and closer to...
But inquiring about the storm is beyond my ability. In fact, this half of the report and the handwriting of the author are perfect divination media. Besides, our target is not far away from us, and I'm familiar with the surroundings, which have made things much easier than usual. It is true diviners can improve the accuracy and controllability of their gnosis by practicing.
The report said, is that also by divination?
I am not sure. Even so, that is also why it takes almost nothing to spread a prophecy. My mother told me many people in the outside world write to the Foundation every day.
Tuesday. Miss Buanish is even great.
You bet! Wait, did you mean I was not the greatest? Here we are, Miss Sotheby. Now, this is the moment to verify the result of my divination.
If you look at the graph, at the end of the trail there may be a snail slowly crawling. But what if we don't see anything? What you see is not necessarily true. This point was firmly believed. It remained true to them until the... Whatever they used to mend the can, there was still a crack. The chaos. Does it mean we will find out the truth? So then, observation, order, and silence were brought back to the... It was a grand feat. That's why she made a decision as soon as she read that report. Then she stored the information on her... And the paper which claimed to have recorded the... It seems she's satisfied.
The all? Found it! Nothing can stop the genius, Matilda.
The trip to Egypt didn't go smoothly. The ship was hit by a common storm at sea, and something emerged from the water. Since I had no idea what I was shooting at, even after I emptied, and I didn't know what to do. Those arcanists, I wonder how she did that. Then when I was about to step on a random, the next second, I was stunned. And as to how...
Because that plank is deformed like a rhombus.
I was confused. Where is the rhombus?
The rhombus can't be seen with eyes. You shall close your...
Of course, I didn't see anything. Nor did I understand. Nevertheless, she reached the correct conclusion in a Anyway, she saved my life. She remained rejective to working with the Foundation. My mission on that trip was not to make contact with them. Besides, what we needed was builders of the storm observation system. Not some liars who would only make things. As for the shelter they took from the storm, she wouldn't say a word, as if she were dealing with a spy who tried to find out the deepest secrets of the Arcanists. In the end, Hugh mediated between us. He gave me an address in Istanbul to which I could send the letters to contact them. After that, I spent more than half a year in the Egypt office. Things were even worse there than I expected. Some have gone missing after the storm. The situation could be... Besides that, I learned that someone, apparently they secretly used us, the researchers equally divided into two at the time. It was still too early to decide which direction was right. But many already believed that if time continued, it's true that Gnosis cannot be copied, verified by an independent third party. Its nature decides that it cannot lay the foundation of even so. But Before the disagreement was settled, the storm in 1980, but the prediction was not accomplished by Laplace. Our enemies, those lunatic xenophobes, valuing... Yes, we built observation stations. We made countless... We made efforts. We sacrificed life. We did whatever we could. Yet the result was that we didn't find any other regions immune to the storm, except the headquarters and another one in the end, 95% of the branch members were revert. In conclusion, our endeavor brought no... When we asked him how he learned the precise date of the storm, he burst into laughter.
Can't you?
Then he smashed his own skull. Yes, there was no doubt. But his insane nonsense. So we'd better believe we shouldn't go out in black today. We'd better believe in the existence of... We'd better believe in the supreme existence, which caused the disorder of time. By that means the life of individuals means nothing more than rubbish, and the world is but an imperfect ruin, where only the chosen ones will pass the trial. But how am I supposed to do that? Finally, I made up my... I didn't expect her to answer my questions. For the sake of our peaceful talk about the... Yet what I heard from them was a simple announcement of her death. She died. Then it burned and turned to ashes on the same day. The first and only. She told us the time in the outside, and that was how I knew she was right.
It is right in front of you.
What? If there is a God, if this is what she calls a glimpse of the supreme exists, the last two digits in the number of the year 70.
Incroyable. Bertin and Sonetto will be thrilled to know what we found. Well done, Miss Sotheby. You performed as well.
What are you doing in other people's rooms? This is my personal item. Please leave immediately.
According to administration and regulations for dispatch personnel, every member of the Foundation, when acting...
And they are obliged to ensure the author... If you have read this report, miss, you should know...
But this is an emergency!
I can tell from your uniform, you are... This is Laplace. Do you have your guardian's approval to leave?
Approval? I don't... Here is my ID. Did you just ignore a formal
Miss Moisson, we found that report here. The great Miss Buanish and I discovered some important information. Miss Buanish, why are you confronting Mr. Chair?
I didn't expect to see the second half of that report here in your...
Don't call me that, friend. Why not just call it? I don't understand. How is a report filled with meaningless words of any concern to you?
It provides information about the Arcanist group Virgin is now dealing with. If possible, please give it to me.
Of course. How can I turn down a request from Constantine's chief of... Take it away. I hope you don't mind the mold on it.
Please pay attention to your manners and do not bring disgrace to the computing center.
Ms. Buanish? Ms. Sotheby? You've done a great job. And I will report your active perform. We need to further analyze the files you found.
Contribution exceptionnelle! Oh la la, exceptionnel! No. I didn't accomplish it alone. Assistant Sotheby also played a significant role. Hooray!
That is to say, Miss Burnish, we can start preparing the balloons and flowers for the twist ball.
Speaking of which, this monitor assistant...
There will be no advance in human technology. Even thee, Madam Z, has given up on the study.
No. I've never thought of that.
I am astonished by the...
They broke in.
If it was a complaint that you...
Don't bother. I didn't file it because it is a report.
Is that so? I am gratified to find that you still have some...
I too am gratified that you...
Oh, that was sarcasm.
Never mind. You went all the way to this dusty, rundown place.
Certainly. I hope you can be the cryptographer of the Manus Vindictes.
You are asking... I don't see how I'll be helpful to this project.
You cannot evaluate your own...
Well, you question not what is ahead of you.
Thank you for your compliment. Credit goes to everyone.
That was not even a... Guess you agree. A life without... I'll never be able to combine human technology. I am useless to you. I don't expect someone made of tin to understand a human mind. But I beg of you, leave me alone.
The work of analyzing the masks of Manus, a side effect occurs in the researchers, and it is getting worse.
What a scene. Have you...
Not yet. We have conducted the Arcanum imaging, but knowing what it is composed of does not help explain how it works. What we're looking for is the original ritual that the Manus cast on them.
You're trying, even if somehow you manage to find the original. That's why we can't tell if we're experiments performed in the ivory tower won't succeed.
An experiment about the storm. Glad to see your brain is not rusty yet. That proves you are capable of the project. The history maintenance team has forecast different critical points of this storm. Foundation investigators are on their way. If Manus Vindicte still plans to accelerate the storm, like what they have done in 1929, there will be a high possibility. Your sister, Greta Hoffman, is also one of the investigators.
I have no interest in any Hoffmans other than myself. We have different perspectives.
It is okay. I am just here to inform you that. If any of the investigators take your time and be mentally prepared, I wish you will be fully prepared by then.